The 1990s weren't just about fun cartoons and family animation. Some animated films went far beyond the limits, exploring dark themes, violence, religion, and political satire that sparked outrage around the world. Because of this, several movies were banned, censored, or blocked in different countries. This list looks at 14 shocking animated films from the 1990s that crossed the line and became infamous for being too controversial to show. Perfect Blue, 1997. Perfect Blue is a psychological animated thriller that shocked audiences with how dark and realistic it felt. The story follows Mima, a young pop idol who quits her music career to become an actress. As she takes on more disturbing roles, her sense of identity begins to crack. A dangerous stalker, violent murders, and hallucinations blur the line between reality and fantasy. The film explores fame, obsession, and the mental pressure placed on young performers. Its intense scenes, including violence and sexual assault themes, made many viewers uncomfortable, and some countries restricted or heavily rated it. Over time, Perfect Blue earned massive respect for its mature storytelling and visual style. Today, it is considered a landmark anime that influenced many psychological thrillers in both Japan and Hollywood. The Rugrats movie, 1998. The Rugrats movie brings the popular TV babies to the big screen in a family-friendly adventure. The story centers on Tommy Pickles adjusting to life with his new baby brother, Dill. Feeling ignored, Tommy and his friends accidentally lose Dill in the woods, leading to a wild journey involving jungle dangers and a runaway dinosaur attraction. Unlike many films of the era, it avoided serious controversy and was widely accepted by parents. The humor mixes silly baby misunderstandings with emotional moments about sibling bonds. While critics were divided, children loved it, and the movie performed strongly at the box office. Its success helped Nickelodeon prove that TV cartoons could successfully transition into feature-length films. Feladay, 1994. Feladay is a rare example of an animated film made strictly for adults. Set in a quiet neighborhood, the story follows Francis, a clever house cat who investigates a series of brutal cat murders. What starts as a mystery slowly turns into a disturbing conspiracy involving experiments, cult-like behavior, and extreme violence. The film contains graphic imagery, blood, and unsettling themes that shocked audiences who expected a children's cartoon. Because of this, it never received a proper theatrical release in the United States. Animal rights groups also criticized its violent depictions. Despite this, Feladay later gained cult status for its bold storytelling and noir atmosphere, standing out as one of the darkest animated films ever made. Aladdin, 1992. Aladdin is a colorful Disney animated musical inspired by Middle Eastern folklore. It tells the story of a poor but clever young man who finds a magical lamp containing a powerful genie. With the genie's help, Aladdin tries to win the heart of Princess Jasmine while stopping the villainous Jafar. While hugely popular in the West, the film faced criticism for cultural stereotypes and its original song lyrics, which some groups found offensive. Disney later altered certain lines to reduce backlash. No major country fully banned the movie, but edited versions were shown in some regions. Over time, Aladdin became a global classic, praised for its animation, catchy songs, and Robin Williams' iconic performance as the genie. Kite, 1998. Kite is a gritty Japanese anime that pushed boundaries with its bleak tone and shocking subject matter. The story follows Sawa, a teenage girl manipulated into becoming an assassin by a corrupt detective who exploits her trauma. Set in a decaying city filled with crime and moral rot, the film mixes stylized action with deeply uncomfortable themes. What caused the most controversy was an explicit scene involving a minor, which led to bans or heavy cuts in several countries, including a full ban in Norway. Because of this, many international releases were censored, altering the narrative flow. Despite the backlash, Kite gained a cult following among adult anime fans who admired its raw art style and uncompromising approach. Over time, it became known as a film that should be approached with caution, not entertainment for casual viewers. Interestingly, its visual style and direction influenced later filmmakers, and the movie is often discussed in conversations about how far animation can go when freed from traditional content limits. Thumbelina, 1994. Thumbelina is a gentle animated musical based on the classic fairy tale about a tiny girl searching for where she truly belongs. Directed by Don Bluth, the film follows Thumbelina as she escapes forced marriages, meets friendly forest creatures, and dreams of joining the fairy world. While the movie was aimed at children, some critics felt parts of it were darker or more emotionally heavy than expected. Scenes involving kidnapping and strange suitors were considered unsettling by a few parents, though no official bans were ever placed on the film. Compared to Disney releases of the same era, Thumbelina struggled at the box office and received mixed reviews. However, its hand-drawn animation and melodic songs earned it a loyal fanbase over time. Many viewers appreciate its traditional fairy tale atmosphere and moral message about independence and self-worth. Today, Thumbelina is remembered as an underrated entry in 1990s animation, especially among fans of Don Bluth's distinctive storytelling style and emotional depth. South Park Bigger Longer and Uncut, 1999. South Park Bigger Longer and Uncut is a wildly offensive animated comedy that deliberately set out to shock. The film follows Stan, Kyle, Cartman, and Kenny after they sneak into an R-rated Canadian movie filled with non-stop profanity. Their parents panic, censorship spirals out of control, and a ridiculous war between adults and children erupts. The movie mocks authority, government fear tactics, and moral outrage culture. It sparked immediate controversy for its extreme language, crude humor, and bold satire of religion and politics. Several countries restricted or avoided theatrical screenings, and it barely earned an R rating after edits. Despite this, the film was praised by critics for its clever writing and musical numbers. Songs like Blame Canada became iconic, even earning an Academy Award nomination. Over time, the movie became a cult classic, often cited as one of the most daring animated films ever released by a major studio. Anastasia, 1997. Anastasia is a romantic animated adventure inspired by the legend of the lost Russian princess. The story imagines that Anastasia Romanov survived the Russian Revolution and later journeys to Paris with the help of two con artists. The film blends history with fantasy, adding magic, music, and a villainous version of Rasputin. While popular in the West, it drew criticism from Russian Orthodox groups who considered the portrayal disrespectful, as the real Anastasia was later canonized as a saint. Although Russia never officially banned the movie, religious leaders objected strongly to turning a tragic historical figure into a fairy tale heroine. Despite this controversy, Anastasia was a commercial success and is praised for its animation, emotional songs, and darker tone compared to typical family films. It also helped revive interest in non-Disney animated musicals during the late 1990s and remains beloved by fans worldwide. The Lion King, 1994. The Lion King is one of Disney's most successful and emotionally powerful animated films. It tells the story of Simba, a young lion prince who must overcome guilt and exile after the death of his father, Mufasa. Inspired loosely by Shakespeare's Hamlet, the film explores themes of responsibility, loss, and identity. While it faced no official bans, some parents felt certain scenes were intense for very young children, particularly Mufasa's death and the dark tone of Scar's rule. A few religious commentators debated symbolic meanings, but these discussions never affected its release. The film's music, characters, and animation made it a global phenomenon, spawning sequels, a Broadway musical, and live-action adaptations. Today, The Lion King is often cited as one of the greatest animated films ever made, praised for its storytelling depth and emotional impact across generations. Midori, the Girl in the Freak Show, 1992. Midori, the Girl in the Freak Show is one of the most disturbing animated films ever produced. It tells the tragic story of a young orphan sold into a traveling circus, where she is abused and exploited by cruel performers. The film contains extreme violence and deeply upsetting scenes involving children, which led Japanese authorities to ban it outright. It never received official theatrical approval in Japan and circulated only through underground screenings and bootleg copies for many years. Because of its content, it remains highly controversial and is not recommended for general audiences. Despite this, Midori developed a notorious cult following among collectors of extreme cinema. Its handmade stop-motion style adds to its unsettling atmosphere, making it a haunting example of animation used for horror rather than entertainment. Mulan, 1998. Mulan is a Disney animated epic based on the Chinese legend of Hua Mulan. The story follows a young woman who disguises herself as a man to take her father's place in the army. Through bravery and determination, she becomes a respected warrior. While celebrated globally, the film faced delays and criticism in parts of Asia due to historical inaccuracies and political sensitivities. In Malaysia, it was temporarily restricted because of supernatural imagery conflicting with religious guidelines. China initially avoided an official theatrical release, though it later appeared on home video. Despite early resistance, Mulan became widely admired for its strong female lead and message of honor and courage. Eddie Murphy's comedic dragon Mushu helped balance the serious tone, making the film accessible to Western audiences while still telling a powerful story. The Prince of Egypt, 1998. The Prince of Egypt is a dramatic animated retelling of the biblical story of Moses. Produced by DreamWorks, the film focuses on Moses' transformation from Egyptian prince to leader of the Hebrew people. With epic visuals, emotional music, and serious themes, it stood apart from lighter animated films of its time. However, it faced bans in several Muslim countries where depicting prophets is forbidden by religious tradition. Nations such as Egypt and Malaysia refused theatrical screenings, though edited versions later appeared on home video. In Western countries, the film was praised for its respectful tone and powerful soundtrack, including the Oscar-winning song When You Believe. Over the years, The Prince of Egypt has become a respected classic, often used as an example of how animation can successfully tell profound religious and historical stories. These animated films prove that cartoons are not always made for children. In the 1990s, filmmakers used animation to challenge rules, provoke debate, and explore subjects many countries were not ready to accept. While some of these movies were banned or censored at the time, many later gained cult status and respect for their bold storytelling. Love them or hate them, these films left a lasting mark on animation history and changed how far the medium could go.